Welcome to a deep dive into charisma. We're checking out this book, and it says charisma isn't just something you're born with.
Right.
It's a skill you can actually learn.
Totally.
So today, let's break down how to make those amazing first impressions.
Yes.
How to, really master the art of conversation.
Uh-huh.
And even how to deliver, bad news, but with grace.
Very important.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people think charisma is just something you either have or you don't. This book breaks down the specific behaviors that project presence and warmth.
Uh-huh.
And that magnetic quality we all think of as charisma.
Yeah.
The cool thing is you can learn it and apply it.
Totally. Yeah, you can actually build this skill.
Yeah.
So the book starts out with first impressions.
Right.
And get this, they're formed in just seconds.
Yeah.
Literally seconds.
Seconds.
So I'm curious,
Yeah.
just how much weight do those first few seconds really carry?
Oh, it's actually incredible how fast our brains make judgments.
Yeah.
The research shows those first impressions can impact not just that first meeting,
Right.
but your whole relationship with someone.
Wow.
Think about walking into a room and someone glances at you.
Yeah.
Their brain is already deciding about you.
Oh, gosh.
About your trustworthiness, your competence even,
Yeah.
your likability, all that.
All in a split second.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so to really nail that first impression,
Okay.
the book talks about this thing called mirroring.
Right.
And it's basically subtly matching someone's posture, their gestures, even how they talk.
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of speaking their body language.
Exactly.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, you're tapping into that human desire to connect with people who are like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not as simple as just mimicking everything someone does. If they're giving off those negative vibes.
Okay, yeah.
Mirroring that could totally backfire.
You'd be like, matching their bad mood.
Exactly.
That's not going to work.
Not good.
So how do you handle that?
Yeah.
What does the book say about when someone's giving off,
Okay.
stay away signals?
So instead of mirroring that negativity, you can't, once you've built a little rapport,
Okay.
gently lead them towards something more positive.
Okay.
Introduce some positive things in the conversation.
Right.
Use open and relaxed body language yourself.
Yeah.
So subliminally, you're inviting them to mirror you.
To mirror you.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
It's cool. Right.
Now, on to handshakes.
Okay.
I was surprised by how much detail the book went into about the perfect handshake.
Right.
Even the angle of your thumb.
Yeah.
So is it really that important?
Think about it like this.
Okay.
Nonverbal communication. It's different across cultures.
Right.
What's confident here
Okay.
might be aggressive somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah.
So even a handshake could be a charisma minefield if you're not, considering those nuances.
Exactly.
What about starting conversations?
Okay.
The book says lead with a compliment,
Right.
especially about what someone's wearing.
Yes.
Why is that so effective?
I think there's some really interesting psychology there.
Okay.
First of all,
Yeah.
it's flattery,
Right.
which we all love.
We all love a good compliment.
Yeah, and it also creates common ground
Huh.
because it shows you've noticed something about them.
Right, right.
And it starts the interaction
So, yeah.
on a positive note, which is always good.
Always a plus.
Yeah.
The book even says to ask a question
Okay.
about whatever you compliment
Uh-huh.
and use the word story.
Oh, yeah.
What's the story behind that incredible watch?
Love it.
Why story?
Because that word,
Yeah.
it encourages them to open up.
Okay.
People love sharing their own experiences.
Yeah.
And by calling it a story,
Right.
you're making it more interesting for them.
More engaging,
Yeah.
but making someone feel heard.
Okay.
It goes beyond just asking the right questions.
Right.
It's about how we listen.
Exactly.
So is there more to it than just nodding and saying,
Way more.
Okay, tell me everything.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Charismatic listening makes the other person feel heard and understood.
Got it.
The book highlights,
Go.
never interrupt, even if you have thoughts.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
I'm a big interrupter.
And pausing before you answer,
Okay.
even for a second or two,
Yeah.
shows you're absorbing what they shared.
It's like you're actually thinking about it.
Exactly.
Not just waiting for your turn.
Right.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah. And there's science behind this.
Okay, tell me.
Our brains have mirror neurons
Okay.
that fire not only when we do something,
Ah.
but when we see someone else doing it.
Oh, wow.
So by pausing,
Yeah.
you're activating those neurons in the other person.
So they feel like you're mirroring them.
Yeah, you're mirroring their thoughts.
Wow.
It creates a deeper connection.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being polite.
Right.
It's like creating a neurological connection.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool.
Isn't it?
And speaking of connections,
Yes.
the book says we're wired to remember vivid images better than abstract concepts.
Yeah. Think about it.
Okay.
Our visual processing is much older evolutionarily than language processing.
Right.
So if you want to make an impact and be memorable, you need to speak in pictures.
Got it.
You know?
I'm guessing that's why metaphors and similes are so powerful?
Yes.
Because they paint a picture.
Exactly.
Do you have any examples of how that works?
Here.
Okay.
Imagine trying to remember the number of smoking-related deaths each year.
Okay.
A statistic might not stick.
Right.
But if I told you it was like 3 full Boeing 747s crashing every day.
Wow.
With no survivors. That image, that stays with you.
That's an intense image.
Yeah.
I was going to forget that.
Exactly.
So use metaphors, similes.
Yes.
Anything to create a vivid picture.
Exactly.
Speaking of vivid, let's talk about the voice of charisma.
Okay.
The book says your tone of voice can actually change people's perception of you.
It really can.
Is that true?
One study showed a professor getting way higher ratings just by changing how he spoke.
Really?
Yeah, same content, different delivery.
Wow, that's wild.
It is.
I've always struggled with sounding confident but not aggressive.
Okay.
Like, what are some things I can do with my voice to project that charisma?
A few things. So slow and steady.
Exactly.
Wins the charisma race.
Wins the race.
But what about warmth?
Okay.
How do you sound approachable and not intimidating? Even when I'm not feeling it.
Even when you're on the phone, people can hear it.
You can hear a smile.
You can.
That's amazing. I have to try that.
Do it.
This is all great stuff.
Yeah.
We've covered first impressions, listening skills, even how to speak with charisma.
Yeah.
But I know there's so much more.
And we'll get into all of that in the next part.
Awesome.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Okay, so let's talk body language.
Yes.
It's amazing how much we say without actually saying anything.
It's powerful stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
I've always found it a bit tricky, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many unspoken rules.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track.
It is.
The book actually says that our nonverbal cues...
They kind of speak to someone's emotional mind.
Right.
While words target the logical side.
Exactly.
So you could say all the right things, but your body's telling a different story.
Totally. And think about it. When someone says, I'm fine, but their face is clearly saying, no, I'm not.
We all know that person.
We all know that person.
We instinctively trust what we see.
Exactly.
More than what we hear.
Yeah.
Speaking of trust.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed
how
emotions are kind of contagious?
Oh, yeah.
Like if someone walks in all stressed out, everyone starts to feel on edge.
Totally. It's like their bad mood spreads.
Right. It's like a virus.
Totally.
Does that have anything to do with charisma?
It does. The book calls it emotional contagion.
Okay.
And charismatic people are really good at transmitting their feelings to others.
So it could be good or bad.
Exactly.
Depending on how they're feeling.
Yeah, and it's even stronger for leaders.
Oh.
So if a leader is calm under pressure, their team will probably stay focused.
Even in a crisis.
Yeah. But if the leader freaks out...
Yeah, and everyone freaks out.
It can go downhill fast.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That's why it's so important for leaders to be aware of their body language.
Especially under pressure.
Yeah. It has a ripple effect.
On everyone around them.
Yeah.
Okay, back to those unspoken rules.
Okay.
The book talks about personal space.
Right.
And how important it is to respect those boundaries.
Very important.
It even mentions different zones. Like intimate, personal, social.
Yeah.
How do you know if you're crossing the line?
It's interesting how our physical proximity can change the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Think about a crowded elevator.
Okay. Yeah.
We're way closer to strangers than normal.
Right.
But the context makes it okay.
Yeah, you have to be.
But in a one-on-one conversation, if someone's leaning away or creating more space, that's a good sign they need some breathing room.
Got it.
Yeah.
So invading someone's personal bubble is not charismatic.
Not charismatic.
How do you strike that balance between being engaging but not intimidating?
Good question.
What about eye contact?
Okay.
The book says too little makes you look shifty.
Right.
But staring is creepy.
Yeah, it's a delicate dance.
So what's the sweet spot?
You want to be present, but not too intense.
Okay.
The book recommends soft focus.
Soft focus.
Yeah, you relax your gaze and take in their whole face.
Not just their eyes.
Yeah, just the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They even suggest practicing different expressions.
Oh, yeah.
In the mirror.
In the mirror.
Like thinking about something annoying to see how your eyes narrow.
Right.
Then thinking about something positive to see them soften.
It's a great way to become more aware.
More aware.
Of how your eyes communicate.
Subconsciously.
Yeah, those little micro expressions can reveal a lot.
That's fascinating.
It is.
Okay, this is making me super aware of my body language now.
It's good to be aware.
The book also says charismatic people
Yeah.
are more contained in their movements. Like they don't fidget, they don't nervously nod.
Right?
They just have this stillness that projects confidence.
It's about status and power.
Okay.
Think about how royalty carries themselves.
Okay.
They don't pace around or fidget with their clothes.
Right, they have that regal stillness.
They convey a sense of control.
Yeah, like they don't have to prove anything.
Exactly.
So less bobblehead nodding.
Less bobblehead.
More calm, controlled presence.
Controlled presence.
Got it.
Yeah.
But charisma isn't just about looking and sounding confident.
Right.
It's about navigating those tricky social situations.
Exactly.
What about dealing with difficult people?
Okay.
Like, how do you do that?
The book has some interesting strategies.
Okay.
One is divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer.
Instead of winning over a whole group,
you focus on individuals.
So you tailor your approach to each person.
Yeah, basically.
That seems really challenging.
It takes practice.
Especially with a room full of big personalities.
It does.
But you're saying it can be really effective.
It can be.
If you do it right.
If you do it right.
And then there's the Ben Franklin effect.
Yes.
That's fascinating.
It is.
It says that asking someone for a favor can make them like you more.
It's true.
How does that even work?
It's called cognitive dissonance.
Okay.
We like to think our actions match our self-image.
Right.
So if we do a favor for someone, our brain might think, well, I must like this person.
To justify it.
To justify it.
So you're basically hacking their brain.
A little bit, yeah.
To make them like you.
That's clever.
I have to admit, that's pretty clever.
It is.
What about when you have to deliver bad news?
Okay.
That's got to be one of the trickiest social situations out there.
Definitely.
What does the book say about that? The book stresses warmth and empathy, even when the message is negative.
So even though you're the bearer of bad news,
right,
you still need to have that warmth.
You need that warmth.
And that charisma.
Exactly. It's not just what you say. It's how you say it.
So maintain eye contact.
Yes.
Use a genuine tone. Show concern for their feelings.
Yes. Soften the blow.
Not add insult to injury.
Exactly.
Speaking of tough conversations.
Okay.
What about giving criticism?
All right.
Everyone has to do it.
Everyone does.
But it's never easy.
No, it's not.
That's the best way.
The book says to depersonalize the feedback.
Okay.
Focus on the behavior, not the person.
So instead of saying, you're always late.
Right.
You could say, when deadlines are missed, it impacts the team.
Exactly.
So you're addressing the issue, but not making it personal.
Exactly. You shift the focus from blame.
Okay.
To the impact.
To the impact of the behavior.
Yeah. And don't forget, start and end on a positive note.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah. Acknowledge their strengths before the criticism.
Right.
And end by reiterating your belief in them.
It's like sandwiching the criticism between two slices of positivity.
Exactly.
I like that.
That's a good analogy.
What about when you're the one apologizing?
Okay.
The book says a real apology needs more than just words.
It needs presence.
Okay.
Warmth and humility.
So it's about truly embodying the apology.
Yes.
Not just saying the words.
Not just the words.
Body language is important here too.
Very important.
Eye contact, sincere tone.
Yeah. And avoid getting defensive.
Right. Don't make excuses.
Exactly.
Even with all these amazing chips, charisma isn't always easy.
You're right. It's not always easy.
And in the next part, we'll talk about some of the challenges.
Yeah, some of the downsides.
Because it can't all be sunshine and roses.
It can't.
So we've been talking about all the good stuff when it comes to charisma.
Right.
But like anything powerful, there can be downsides.
Absolutely.
What are some of those potential pitfalls?
Well, one challenge the book talks about is becoming a magnet for envy. As you get more successful, people might resent that.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It is.
Like, it seems so unfair that being charismatic
Right.
could actually make you a target.
It can happen.
Is there any way to prevent that?
You can't hide your charisma,
Right.
but you can manage how you present yourself.
Okay.
The book suggests deflecting praise
Oh, okay.
and sharing accomplishments.
So instead of taking all the credit,
Exactly.
you kind of spread it around.
Highlight the contributions of others.
So people feel like they're part of it,
Yes.
not just watching from the sidelines.
It turns envy into support and loyalty.
That's a good point.
The book actually has a technique for this called the JALIR sequence.
JLIR.
Yeah.
What's that stand for?
Justification, appreciation, laying it out, impact, and responsibility.
So you're basically reminding someone how they helped you.
Yes.
Expressing gratitude, explaining the situation,
Right.
highlighting their impact,
Yeah.
and giving them responsibility for the success.
It's a powerful technique.
That's really cool.
It really is.
What about oversharing?
Okay.
I could see how being a good listener could backfire if people just start unloading everything on you.
It's true.
What do you do about that?
The book has tips for handling that gracefully.
Okay. I'm all ears.
One is to redirect with a Me Too story.
A Me Too story.
Yeah. If someone shares something super personal, gently interrupt and say, that reminds me of a time when I...
So you're shifting the focus.
Exactly.
Without shutting them down.
Yeah. You're setting boundaries.
I like that.
But what if they've already overshared?
Oh, right.
You can help them feel less awkward.
Okay.
Say something like,
yeah,
I admire your courage for sharing that.
Reframing it as a positive. Exactly.
That's good.
It works.
The book also talks about feeling isolated at the top.
Yes.
Like, as you become more successful, you might feel less connected to your peers.
It's that classic feeling of being on a pedestal.
Separate from everyone else?
Yeah, it can be lonely.
So how do you combat that?
Embrace vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Yes.
But doesn't that go against...
You might seem that way.
Everything we've been talking about.
Right.
Confidence, powerful presence.
But vulnerability makes you more approachable.
Really?
People can't relate to someone who's perfect.
That's true.
So you need that balance.
Okay, so how do you show vulnerability without undermining your authority?
Go small.
Small.
Don't overshare. Just a glimpse into your human side.
So it's about being authentic.
Yes.
But also in control.
You got it.
Sometimes charisma works too well.
Right.
You can be so persuasive that you convince people of things that maybe aren't in their best interest.
That's the danger. So how do you use charisma for good?
It's about awareness.
Awareness of your intentions.
Exactly.
And using your influence responsibly.
You got it.
So it's not just about being charming.
Right.
It's about being a good person.
It all comes down to that.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm seeing charisma in a whole new light.
Me too.
It's not about being the life of the party.
No.
It's about understanding people.
Yes.
And using your influence wisely.
And being a good communicator.
So for everyone listening,
yes,
how will you use charisma responsibly?
That's the question.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's a pleasure.
Into the world of charisma.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time.